Let's talk about one of the weirdest, and let's be honest, most common quirks of living in the 21st century, the phantom buzz. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That feeling when your phone vibrates, you reach into your pocket, only to find out it never buzzed at all.
I mean, come on, who hasn't? You feel that familiar little jolt in your pocket or your bag, you're all ready for a new text, a call, some notification.
And nope, nothing. The screen is totally blank. It was a complete false alarm, a little ghost in the machine. So what is going on? Are we all just going a little crazy?
Well, not even close. It turns out this phantom vibration syndrome, as it's sometimes called, is an incredibly widespread thing. So if you felt it, trust me, you are in very, very good company.
Just take a look at that number, 89%. That is a huge, huge majority of people. But, 89% of who?
So that number comes from a fascinating study by Dr. Michelle Drouin. She found that almost 9 out of every 10 university students feel these phantom buzzes. And it kind of makes sense, right? You've got high social pressure, academic deadlines. You're basically trained to be on high alert for any connection. This isn't some random personal quirk. It's a real psychological thing tied directly to how we use our tech.
So, to really get to the bottom of the phantom buzz, we have to look at just how deeply connected we are to our devices. Our brains are, for all intents and purposes, on constant standby, just waiting for that next ping, that next buzz, that next interaction.
And this table just lays it all out so clearly. You can really see the generational gap here. Look at the two youngest groups, iGen and NetGen. About 2/3 of them are checking their texts at least every 15 minutes. Now compare that to the baby boomers, where it's not even 30%. We have literally trained ourselves to be in this state of constant connection.
And if you think that's a lot, it gets even more wild. A study from Nokia found that the average person checks their phone 150 times a day. If you do the math, that works out to about once every 6.5 minutes of our waking hours. That is just an incredible amount of checking in. Okay, so what happens when we can't check in? This chart tells that story pretty powerfully. About half of younger folks, 50%, say they feel anxious, moderately to highly anxious, if they can't check their texts or social media. That emotional side of it, that's a really big piece of this puzzle.
So all of this constant checking, this background anxiety, it all leads us right to the real culprit behind that phantom buzz. And spoiler alert, it's not a glitch in your phone. It's actually a feature of your brain's response to something psychologists call technology anxiety.
And here's the official definition. Basically, technology anxiety is that feeling of apprehension or even fear you get when you're using or even just thinking about using technology. It's that tense, waiting for something to happen state that our brain gets into.
Which brings us to the big question, right? If the phone isn't actually vibrating, what in the world is creating that sensation that feels so real? And boom, here it is. This quote from psychologist Dr. Larry Rosen just nails it. Our bodies are constantly waiting, anticipating that next interaction. And because of that, we start to interpret the world through the veil of anxiety. Our brain is just primed and ready to feel a buzz, whether it's there or not.
So here's what's happening in simple terms. Your brain is so hyper-focused, so vigilant for a signal from your phone, that it starts getting its wires crossed. It starts misinterpreting other, totally normal, everyday signals, like the rustle of your clothes or a tiny little muscle twitch. And your anxious brain just jumps to the conclusion, that has to be my phone.
But here's the good news. You're not just stuck with this forever. Since we kind of train our brains to get into this hyper-alert state, we can also retrain them to calm down. So let's talk about how to actually take back control.
Okay, so here are 3 really concrete things you can try. First, take short tech breaks. Every hour and a half, 2 hours, just step away for 10 minutes. Second, instead of checking your phone randomly whenever you feel the urge, schedule it. Decide you're only going to check in every 15 minutes or every half hour. And third, a big one, silence all the notifications that aren't absolutely essential. The less you have to anticipate, the better.
And look, a tech break doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing. It could be as simple as taking a quick walk outside, putting on a song you love, doing a quick meditation, or, get this, actually talking to a person face to face. Anything that just helps your brain switch gears and calm down for a few minutes is a win.
Because ultimately, the whole point of these techniques is to break that cycle of constantly waiting for something to happen. You're basically teaching your brain that it's okay to relax, that it doesn't need to be in always-on mode, 24/7.
So the next time you feel that little phantom buzz, you'll know exactly what's going on. It's just a little sign from your brain that it's a bit too anxious for its next digital hit. And it leaves us with a pretty wild question to think about. As our devices get even more woven into our lives, what's the next phantom signal we're all going to start feeling?